Yeah, fuck it. I'll use the other battery pad. That's why the beauty is it. They come in pairs. Let's have some more fun.
And collecting donations.
Yep.
David Tomichini had 100,000 subscribers, and he raised a 7-year-old boy.
It's interesting that you say that because Dink has tried to say that I've talked to that guy. I've talked to Liggity Split. I'm associated with all of these guys. No proof. I don't even know who they are. I mean, I've heard about image.
Go to my BitChute, okay?
Well, I mean, dude, look at like Philemon. He used to believe in every word. I mean, word for word. That one who got away was sitting there saying, "I have all these felonies. I have these 2 charges and convictions of aggravated rape of very young girls," like that, saying words like that. And Philemon started believing that, running like that. But he would show no proof. Like Philemon, where's your proof? I've done many videos, and I've done many videos to state of my background, my cases. I was never charged or convicted of a felony. Never been that way. Yes, I have been charged. Yes, I've been convicted. But 2 misdemeanors. My last arrest was over 15 years ago. It's 2021 now, in July. My last arrest and conviction was back in July of 2006. And that was DUI. I took my buddy's parents' Beamer out, and they went out to the beach for the weekend. He was out clubbing with his friends up in Seattle. I had a couple of drinks. I got fucked up. I took behind the wheel. I crashed it into a ditch in the Gig Harbor. Spent the weekend in Napa County. Went to court. Fucking settled it. I had to do community service. Take a couple classes. Bam, done.
David Tomichini has like a Phoenix Rising tattoo on him. Okay.
Ugh.
Ugh.
And he also has another tattoo. He also has a cleft chin right there, But if you go on my BitChute, Let's Chat with Betty Washam, and you look up the one David Tomichini, you're going to see his whole rap sheet. And you're going to see that he has tattoos. Now, he did embrace himself with another David L. Tomichini, who was 3 years older than him. And that guy came up deceased with no family or nothing. I tried to pursue that. I called the funeral home, and they said he had no family. But it's weird because on David J. Tomichini's stuff, it says that the dead man was just seen 2 months prior. So and this dead man had like valors of Eagle Scouts and all of this stuff that the David L. Tomichini has. So I don't know if he found this dude and he killed him and he took all his shit and he doesn't have family, so nobody fucking knows. I don't know. But it's weird that the funeral home is even suing the pedophile David Tomichini.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Crazy.
It's fucking insane. And I still want to go into it. And he was even like not with a fire department, but he was even with something else. I've got my notes and stuff, but he was with something else. And I called them, I emailed them, and I was like, listen, I'd like to have a picture of him. I pretended like I was his niece or something, but they knew he had no family. And this guy worked for like 50 years, doing those lights on the top of emergency vehicles and helicopters and stuff. This guy was a genuine guy. And now this other David Tomichini, somehow they're linked together. Somehow they have the same phone number. And this guy is dead. And the pedophile David Tomichini kept saying it was the other guy. But the real David Tomichini has a motherfucking tattoo and a clipped chin right here. You can't deny that.
that is some deep stuff, and it's amazing that people are willing to go that deep, and but yet you're still labeled what you're labeled, just like myself. I was looking into the possibility of a 16-year-old girl that may have been used by the police first and hooked on drugs to then become a confidential informant or do as they will with that. With the 16-year-old girl.
They do that as well. They do that
They
as
do.
well.
And my supporting evidence of that is recently in Harris County, Texas, just a couple weeks ago, there was an officer that committed suicide after he gave a confession that the whole task force was raping children and giving them drugs.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. So when people want to say that I'm a victim shamer because I looked into the possibility of this girl being used by the police first.
Yep.
And you know who that mainly comes from? The crazy lady. The crazy lady perpetuates that. Mm-hmm. There's something more there with the protection of the...
You know, and Aaron brings a good point, too. The crazy lady, we know who we're talking about, you know. The crazy lady, back crazy lady, and I realize I've been following her work pretty closely lately. I don't leave comments, I just follow just to see what shenanigans she's going to talk about. And half the time, I see videos, she's always bringing this new clubs, and half the time, I see her get all triggered, get all hyped up, and just angry, just full of rage, like she's got a demon in her soul just pent up. She's got this angry black heart. Always talking about children and people being victims. She always talks about, Malibu says Aaron did that. Then she always talks about these, about these disgusting pedophiles. Now I'm seeing her come saying, you dirty old man, talk to me, Rex, like that. It's just like, oh my God, just what is she? Like she has such an obsession, thinking, we got to keep the community safe. It's all about the children, the victims, like that. A logical person is going to go through a day. They don't go. A logical person can go through a day where they don't always think about the victims of rape or pedophilia and chesters like that. I mean, unless you watch the news, you hear about it, but there are days when you just have a good day, you don't think about it. You just think about your day or having a good time, being with your family like that. These people, these LARPers, they wake up thinking about pedophilia, the victims, or like the MLP, Megas List pedophiles, or all kinds of stuff like that, like human traffickers. They think about it all the time. When I do my news clips, I say the news and I'm done with it. On to the next video. But they think about it all the time. It's running in their mouth like a fucking mouse, like a mouse cheese wheel. Oh my God. Sometimes you're thinking, man, that's why I love it when Aaron talks about, they keep falling from the honey pot. They keep going for the loop of the rabbit hole. Yep. That's what these troops are. It's a fucking honey pot.
The blue line and possible ties with Freemasonry and the thin blue line. Now, here's something even...
And that's a good thing that Aaron brought up, too, about the thin blue line. I just did a video a couple days ago where a 19-year-old girl, her friend got pulled over, so she went to the, there was an area. It was a back to blue flag, not flag. It was a sign. It said back to blue. You know what that meant? The back to blue line, the thin blue line flag, that was the cops' way to counter attack with Black Lives Matter. That was to say, because people were going on Black Lives Matter, especially after George Floyd and Breonna Taylor got shot and killed, and these cops were not being held accountable back then. But George Floyd, Darren Chauvin, he got his, and I'm glad he did. But we still need justice for Breonna Taylor, Derek Wright and Merrick Garland. These cops going through killing people and not getting in charge like that, and they want us to. And I seen posts on people who are talking about back to blue, saying only blue lives matter. Like you get these Discord flunkies on trolls saying, we should just shut the fuck up and back to blue. I see people saying the George Floyd killing was justified. Breonna Taylor deserved to be shot and killed by the cops. like, and like, if people die by the cops, like, oh, it was justifiable. Like, oh, we should just shut the fuck up back to blue. They haven't toughened up. Like, oh, they were feared for this life and safety. Like, get out of here. How many of these killings that these cops kill people? How many of these people are unarmed and scared of the minds? 90% of the people. Anyway, so this teenager girl, she gets charged, for disorderly conduct, obstruction, and she got charged with an enhanced hate crime for simply crumpling up a back to blue sign. This is the mentality. The cops are blue on thugs. They get away with fucking everything, from murder to rape to plant evidence to take the money away. I remember it was 20 years ago or so like that. There were 3 officers from 5 police department and a detective. They finally got their free, they were planting evidence against people, charging shit like that with nothing, no for to plant evidence, charging people until that way they can meet their quota. That way they get a pay raise like that. It took 10 years for these 3 officers and detective to be held in the court of law and found guilty. And I always remember people say, man, I don't want to go 5. You don't even want to go 1 mile per hour. You're driving the thought. A cop will look for anything and bust your ass over. And you wouldn't be walking away with a ticket or drive away. Your ass going to fucking jail because they'll do anything to plant evidence and write your ass up for a crime.
Even more interesting that you might find is that Kat's significant other, whatever level it may be,
I already
works
know,
in the DOC, right? Department of Corrections or something like that. Now, do you know if he works at the Pahrump Federal Prison there?
No, but I know that his name is David, and he flies all different people, all these Freemasons around the world. He flies.
Very interesting. Okay, very interesting. What's interesting is that when the Bundy trials were happening, where were they being held? Pahrump Federal.
Yeah, and see, I don't know nothing about the Bundy thing, but everybody came. It seems like everybody came from the Pete Sinatelli or whatever to my stuff, which is weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my point with that is they were actually tortured in Pahrump Federal Prison. Tortured. Mentally and physically. Now, when you protect that, that's what pisses me off. I know there's good cops out there.
Of course they are.
Yep.
And right now our system of policing is being set up by...
Yeah, exactly. Aaron's right. There are good cops out there. I've done a couple cop watches where cops go above and beyond their duties to help out citizens. I remember one cop watch, it was a Linwood police officer. He drove to Everett Station. I was out there filming, just passing up time because I was waiting for Bailey to get off the Amtrak Cascade train. And I saw a Linwood cop out there went above and beyond to help an elderly lady. I think she got off the bus, probably a Greyhound or something like that. But she was at Everett Station. I think she was stranded. So this Linwood cop went out there, and he helped put her suitcase back in the back of the cruiser, a couple of her belongings, and gave her a ride. Probably, I'm sure he brought her over to their house. This guy went above and beyond. I said that is the best cop watch. That is one of the reasons why I do cop watches, is to showcase the good cops out there.
What happened with Derek Chauvin yesterday?
Yep.
Yes.
With his sentencing?
Yeah, 22 and a half years. Wow.
That's a setup. As good as I think it may be, but getting rid of qualified immunity and the House Bill 1301 or whatever.
Yeah, but that's why James Freeman has been preaching about cops having qualified immunity, like diplomatic immunity, like some foreigners get. James Freeman has been talking about that for months and months, about cops having qualified immunity, getting away with everything they can. And that's another reason why that Aaron brought up. That's why Tacos, Colony Kokar, that's why she had this big grudge against James Freeman. James Freeman is probably the biggest channel out there in the one-in community, the cop watching on-in community. James Freeman's got 315,000 subscribers. That's more than News Down Houston, Sakim, like that, High Desert. That's more than Black Label's ever had, right there. That tells you how effective James Freeman is.
It is for qualified immunity. That's going to tie the hands of the police in just about any scenario